Alright, hello world, this is Prince Sefa-Boakye and I am in the city of beautiful Coronado, California, sitting inside Starbucks, located on Orange Avenue. And today I have the special privilege and honor to interview the mayor of Coronado, Mr. Tanaka. Mr. Tanaka is not only the mayor here, but he's also a history teacher at Coronado High School, my alma mater, and he's also an extraordinary historian. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I know you have a lot of things on your plate, Mr. Mayor, and I know I had to call you your secretary to be sure we schedule this appointment. I know you have a lot of things to do, so I'll keep it very, very short. So, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, can you please introduce yourself and tell my audience what you do?
Well, I'm Tanaka. I am the 50th mayor of the city of Coronado. I have been teaching AP U.S. History and U.S. Government at Coronado High School for the past 16 years. I'm a Coronado High School graduate, so I'm pretty immersed in Coronado, I guess you could say.
Great.
And since it's the summer, I only have one job instead of two. I'm just the mayor during the summer.
That's cool. So, how did you become mayor of Coronado?
Well, I first ran for the city council when I was 24, and I didn't win, but I came in 4th out of 8, so I had a pretty good showing. A number of people suggested, well, give it another try, so I did. And 2 years later, I won a seat on the city council. So that was in 2002. I served on the city council for 6 years before running for mayor, and I ran for mayor and won in 2008. I was reelected in 2012, and in general, I'd say you probably shouldn't be the mayor if you haven't been on the city council. Being on the council gives the public a chance to sort of know what you're about. If they have any buyer's remorse, they have a chance to get rid of you before you trying to go for mayor. So I think it works well both ways. And you can't really be the mayor if you don't understand how the council works. So being on the city council is your chance to learn the city and public policy.
Election cycle. If you just mind for at least 1 minute or so, explain that election cycle here in Coronado.
Well, Coronado's elections always occur on what are known as the general election day. So the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of an even-numbered year, those are general election days in California. Some cities have a primary and a general, so basically some cities have 2 elections in an election year. We don't. Coronado just has 1, and our 1 election is held on the big election day in November. So that means, the day the president's elected, that's also the day the mayor of Coronado is elected, and that's also the day 2 other council members are elected. So when the president's elected, 3 of our 5 council members will be elected or re-elected that day. And then the day that the governor of California is elected, the gubernatorial, that's the day the other 2 council members will be elected as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for
answering. It's for 4-year terms. It's all 5 serve for 4 years.
Okay, 4-year 5 terms. All right, now I got it. So now I can follow you everywhere I go on Facebook. So I'll do the next interview the next time I'm here in Coronado, see what things you've said or what things you need to do. So But anyways, I'm gonna move on. Okay, now what is your biggest inspiration for running for office? Was there any like corruption in the city council? Did you want to clean up the streets of Coronado? What was your biggest inspiration?
Well, I tell people that I distinctly remember watching a city council debate when I was in middle school, and I remember Patty Schmidt was one of the people who was. She won 4 times in a row for city council, so she served for 16 years. I don't remember which of those 4 terms I was watching a debate for, but I don't know any other middle schoolers who were watching that debate at the library. And, so I've always been interested in Coronado politics. When I ran in 2000 and in 2002, if you're not on the council, you can't help but be a little bit negative. So looking back, I actually kind of regret that. But if you're not on the council and you're saying, city, vote for me, then you're probably going to try to point out areas where you think you would do something different or do something better. I remember saying I would communicate more effectively, something to that effect. But I think in hindsight, we've been blessed with really good city councils for decades. So in the end, I think what an election is in Coronado is just the public saying which people we have the most faith in this moment to serve the community as a whole.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. You're keeping the streets here very, very clean.
Thank you. We do our best.
Okay, so now, what is it like to be the mayor of Coronado? Are there any perks to it?
Well, you have to be careful. There certainly are perks to being mayor or being on the city council, but that shouldn't be what motivates you. And if you watch a show like Veep, the whole point of the show is to remind you what an idiot you can become if you get fixated on that sort of frivolity. But I think one of the things I like in terms of being a perk, it's fun to have kids that I've not met say hello, Mr. Mayor. It's fun to be able to chat with people at places here like Starbucks, and maybe most importantly, to be able to fix little problems that arise here and there. On the website, one of the things in my bio, it says that I'm focused on accessibility of government to the public, and I think in a city as small as Coronado, that's a real possibility. It's something where you'll see your city council members around town, and if you have a problem that has a direct fix, you can have some reasonable hope that your city leaders can address it and work on it for you.
Great. All right. Thank you. Now I gotta ask you some really, really tough questions, Mr. Mayor. Okay. Now, what's this thing about this drink I see right next to me? It's called the Fuel. Now, the last time I interviewed you, you told me you put how many sugars in it, and you drink it almost every day. So, do you mind just telling me what is the Fuel and what you really are consuming in your body?
That drink starts with 4 shots of espresso. I put 16 packets of sugar in. I use the heat of the espresso to melt the sugar. There's so much sugar it doesn't all melt, but it's pretty close. I cool it down with probably an equal amount of half and half. So however much liquid there was before I put in half and half, I usually double its volume with the half and half. And then I pour all of it over ice. This is a glass that I bought from Starbucks. I just happen to like, but usually on a work day, I just sip that throughout the day. I don't usually eat breakfast or lunch. So
no, that's what kind of was really amazing to me.
It's kind of a little substitute for normal eating, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. This actually goes into my next question. Now, I've seen your pictures of food, and it's quite, guys. I don't know if you've seen these pictures of food, but they're like mountains of food. And it's amazing how he can consume all that food. Now, I didn't consume all that food when I was, let me go back. I didn't consume that much food since I was in water polo. And it comes to me that you're not in water polo. So I had to ask you this, do you have 2 stomachs?
No, I have one really large stomach, but it's not a healthy habit, but it's the habit I have that I tend to eat 1 main meal a day, sometimes 2. And when I wake up, I'm just not hungry. And I think for me, it's silly to eat if you're not hungry. I eat a lot when I am hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not typically hungry in the morning. I'm not typically hungry at midday. But usually somewhere in the afternoon to the evening, that's when I'm ready to do a lot of eating. And so I kind of eat 2 or 3 meals worth of food in that one sitting. And then I don't eat very much at other times during the day.
Okay. Have you thought about, has anybody challenged you as far as the eating contest?
Sure. I admit I like a good eating contest. There's a British place called Shakespeare's Pub that's near Washington Street or Boulevard. They have a challenge where if you can eat 4 full fish and chips, like fried fishes, along with the chips and peas. They have some. So I've tried that. I ate like 3 1/4 of the 4. There's a 2-pound burger challenge at Mickey Rotten's.
Oh,
I ate the whole patty, but I didn't eat the rest. So I would say as an amateur eating champion, I'm okay.
Okay, well I'm looking forward to you hosting one here in Coronado.
I've actually thought it would be fun to have like the Mayor's Burger Challenge. It's not an eating contest, but to crown the best burger in Coronado. But I guess I just haven't gotten around to it.
Okay, all right. And then also I want to know is, what is one misconception that a lot of people get confused about being mayor in Coronado?
I think the most obvious misconception people have is that I'm somehow in charge of everything. And one of the things I tell my 12th grade government students, there are 0 employees that work for me directly. That means I don't have hiring and firing authority over any one employee. And I, in fact, make the joke that if I picked up the phone and started firing people, those people would respond with, "Are you feeling okay?" So one of the things that I try to emphasize to people learning about city government is that city councils, like the one I serve on, we hire someone to run the city for us. So the same way a corporation has a board of directors and they hire a CEO, most cities do the same thing. And that means, using the business model, a mayor is the chairman of the board. The chairman of the board doesn't usually get to fire people. It depends on the corporation, but in general, that's not the power of the chair. The chair runs the meeting, and that's what I do. I'm the chair of the city council, so to speak.
Okay. Now, my last question is this. Why should people come to Coronado?
Well, I'll be rude and say people in Coronado would probably say you don't have to come to Coronado. We're doing just fine. But the reasons people do come to Coronado, I think, are the weather, the geographic beauty of Coronado.
Yes.
That we have a beautiful beach, a beautiful bay. We're pretty flat, and that means that a lot of people who are into physical fitness or exercising, it's an easy place to jog or to bike. You can swim on top of that because of the beach and the bay and so on. There's a lot of historic beauty in Coronado, the homes, the commercial district. So there's just a lot of beauty to admire in Coronado, and it's a pretty relaxed place to enjoy that beauty.
Great, great. Well, those are my questions for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. And for my audience out there, where can they follow you and your work?
I would say the main place you can follow me is on Facebook. So I think if you look up Casey Tanaka, you'll find me you'll see this fat face somewhere.
Okay.
And that's the main area where I share my thoughts or ideas. I do have a Twitter account, but I don't use it that much, and frankly, I find Twitter is a little too restrictive. I don't like that I'm restricted at 46 characters, whatever the number is. So Facebook would probably be the best way. Okay. Also, the city's website is a good place to look for information, and eCoronado is another good site as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So sitting down with me, and for more people and politics, you can go to my personal website, princessdailyjournal.com. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a fan page, which is facebook.com/PrincessDailyJournal. And until next time, guys, be good and stay classy. Let's do a toast here. To you and your success.
Thank you.